Greetings everyone, Nemo060 here, and before I do my 300 subscribers special, I want to make this video. Now, I know a lot of people have been commenting on recolours recently, and I decided to do something a little bit different, which I call Origional 420 actually beat me to it. He's shown some of his original characters to show what originality is, and so I thought I may as well, give the backstory and the created, art using the Sonic character builder I found on Newgrounds, I think it was, to create what my character would look like. I have absolutely no artistic skills unless I have some kind of a base, and so I'd probably be absolute shit trying to draw it myself, hence why I've used the character builder to perhaps create this character, which I've had for a while, and I've reworked the backstory numerous times, but I feel it's finally time that I may as well give an example of how to do an original character of some description. And before anyone points out, yes, I know the name Airazor is actually a Hawk character in Beast Wars. Yes, that is where I originally got the name from. However, I cannot come up with a better name, and it sounds cool, so I may as well stick with it. Okay? Anyway, this is Airazor the Hawk. Airazor was part of a large clan of hawks that live alongside the echidnas, but looked down upon them for their increasing corruption. The Hawk clan was best known for their commands over the winds via their powerful wings, much like how Knuckles could smash the earth with his physical strength. And despite being a warrior and martial arts culture, with that being a big part of it, they did try and create peace as much as possible and keep peace. They preferred to only fight to survive and to defend themselves. They would prefer to not use any meaningless violence and waste energy. But this would all change on the same day that Chaos was first released from the Master Emerald, along with a powerful demon in the form of a saber-toothed cat known as Nighttooth. He was unleashed. Commanding the shadows, despite the best efforts of the Hawks, he destroyed Airazor's village, and Airazor was the only survivor. He survived because he found the village. Found and had took the prized possession of the village, a magic sword made of bone with a skull just above the hilt and below the antler guards, with magic runes carved upon the blade. With this sword, he managed to absorb a portion of Nighttooth's power and defeated the demon, fending him off, but not completely destroying him, but which he doesn't know. The event was traumatic, and this surge of power twisted his memory, and he is now blinded with rage because he blames the echidnas for what happened, with their corruption causing chaos to go mad as he did, as in Sonic Adventure 1. Taking his sword, he trained on his own for years in search of the remaining echidnas to take his revenge. However, he isn't aware that Nighttooth, the demon, was really behind all this, and that he has been quietly laughing in the background, knowingly pulling the strings to cause more conflict and cause more chaos. I was going to do a fanfic of this whereby I correct some character development that was scrapped in more recent Sonic games in favour of the character development shown in Sonic Adventure 2, and perhaps give Shadow a better backstory than the Black Doom one. Because even though I like Shadow the Hedgehog rather, even though I do enjoy that game, I admit the story was absolute crap. It wasn't the most original, and it had a ton of plot holes following most of the continuities and all the alternate endings. There were plot holes galore in that. and you know, you could easily make a character, you know, just side with evil or good at the absolute last minute for no apparent reason. While it was nice to have some replayability in the missions and do different things on different levels at your choice, it really was executed poorly. But either way, I also wanted to include the Babylon Rogues, which I must say were not an influence for Ares the Hawk. The Babylon Rogues were created, you know, long after I had thought of Ares, and originally he was simply a name and species rip-off of the Beast Wars character, but I have now tried to make him, you know, original. I did want to include the Babylon Rogues and give them better characters because I find that the ones created by 4Kids and the way that they were represented in Sonic Riders, especially the voices, were god-awful. These characters look really cool in my opinion, and I really wanted to give them a better backstory and to really show what potential these characters could have. However, really, the amount of characters and villains got a bit clustered for me, and I can't really write with doing a lot of characters, and I really couldn't involve them all and, you know, give them all the improvements that I wanted to. However, I may, you know, redo this fanfic and try and narrow it down to just a few characters. Maybe the Babylon Rose, maybe just Jet the Hawk, and Ares, and maybe just Knuckles and Shadow. I might exclude Eggman altogether. I do want to include Metal Sonic though, as his rendition in Sonic Heroes was bass. Seriously, that is the most awesome Metal Sonic of all time in my opinion, and his presence alone improves the game in my opinion, because he's that awesome. And yeah, I wanted to, you know, include a dark version of him controlled by Nighttooth. So essentially he's more powerful and less dependent on Sonic's data than before. So yeah, I wanted to try and do something like that. However, you know, as I said before, it got a bit cluttered. But either way, this is an original character. This is using some old concepts and putting new twists on them. This is reworking and trying to expand on character development and depth from when you originally created them. I will say there is still hope for Bloodshot yet. He should have made his own characters rather than get someone to do them for him, the character redesigns, as Icar Soccer 420 said. But as is the case, he has better character designs, and he isn't terribly original, for people going to trace them, but at least it's a step in the right direction. Perhaps he could learn from this, you never know. If we can at least educate some people and have some people who have done or still do recolours to perhaps create more original backstories and more original characters, then you know, we have some moderate amount of success. Anyway, this video has gone on much longer than I originally intended, so this is Zama Ozixo, and I shall see you all on the dark side of the moon. Off and away.